Hey guys, what's going on? This is Mike back with another video today, another election video. I thought this, we continue doing this just because the election is getting closer. It's under 90 days now. Things are tightening in the polls, which I knew they would. And we will see where they're at. Now, we have seen, not a drastic drop for Joe Biden, but we have seen a drop. And I knew, Trump with his demeanor change, and Trump doing his daily, maybe not daily, but he's doing a lot more of these press briefings, talking about coronavirus, and he's trying to seem more involved and stuff like that, which I don't know, but, who knows? But anyway, like I said, I'm going to stay middle on these election predictions. I do have a preference, but I want to stay middle as possible. But, it doesn't matter. You're still going to make some Joe Biden fans mad, and you're going to make some Trump fans mad. It is what it is. But anyway, if you know me, you know that I have a preference. But I'm going to stay as independent on this video as I can. But anyway, I still believe, as of right now, that Joe Biden will win this election. Okay, I as of right now, I still believe Joe Biden will win. That can change as we see. The polls are tightening, but 270 to win is still forecasting it as as 278. Trump's got 169, so even if Trump was able to pick up Arizona, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Ohio, he's still in Maine's 2nd District. He would still run short. And Nebraska, the other district in Nebraska, he would still run short. So who knows? Who knows? That could change. Biden could take Florida. He is up in the average right now. He could barely take Florida. He could barely take Arizona. He's up in the average right now. So who knows? I still think, even though Biden is up in the average in Ohio, I live close to Ohio. I live in northern Kentucky. I live closer to Cincinnati. I'm in between Cincinnati and Lexington, but I live closer to Cincinnati than I do Lexington. So, and this area is very, very right leaning. Let's just say it, how it is. It's very right leaning. I live in just to give you an example, my county in 2016, Hillary Clinton got maybe 1,000 votes. And Trump got like 9 or 10,000. So, so that's how, right leaning my county is. But I live closer to Cincinnati than I do Lexington. And Cincinnati, the city itself is more Democrat, but the surrounding areas like Hamilton County and stuff like that are more Republican. And I just don't see, I know, Joe Biden has his support, but I just don't see the support like I did for Obama, back in 2012 and 2008. Obviously in 2008, but 2012 where he barely won Ohio, he still had a lot of support. And Joe Biden has that support, and I think he's turned some Trump fans off. And I know that I know people that voted for Trump in 2016 that are not voting for him in 2020. And they are going to vote either for Joe Biden or independent. But mostly they're going to vote for Joe Biden. Who knows? Who knows what can happen? But I still see Ohio going to Trump. So let's take a look at the polls. The polls right now, let's go to Real Clear Politics. Not a lot came out today, and we'll look at yesterday too. But Maine, Biden's up 15. I expect to see Biden win Maine. Trump's approval rating is just, not good at all in Maine. Maine's 2nd District is close. Trump's only up by 1. There's another poll that has Biden up by 31 in Maine. And then Trump, where my state is up by 9 in this poll, but it's it's more than that. I mean, there was another poll that had him up by like 20. I wish it was that close. I mean, seriously, I mean, not because I prefer a candidate. I'm just saying, but I wish I lived in a swing state, really, where it made a difference, or for who you voted for. South Carolina, this is interesting. Trump is only up 5 in this poll. I don't know if there's an average. No, there's not really an average here in South Carolina, but Trump was up 4 in this poll. Trump plus 12 back in January. Trump plus 4. Trump plus 5. So it has tightened a little bit. So I mean, I don't know if that's true. But, if you want to go by the polls, I mean, that's single digits in South Carolina. That is crazy. This is interesting. The South Carolina Senate race, Graham versus Harrison, is a tie. And Harrison has, Democrats have been pouring a lot of money into South Carolina for this election. And obviously, Graham knows something is up because he's spending a lot more time campaigning for his Senate seat when it should be absolutely safe. South Carolina is a very red state, or it used to be. So we'll see what happens there, but it's amazing that it's tied right now. Now let's go to the national polls that came out the other day. The I can't even say that, but the poll that I'm talking about, the right-leaning poll. Has Biden up 3, but it had, I think, in one poll I've seen Biden up 6. Now that is something to take into account because that is a very, very right-leaning poll. Okay, so the fact that Biden is up in those polls is pretty crazy. But The Hill came out with a poll on Wednesday that showed Biden only up 3. So the last time we talked about our average on Real Clear Politics, I think it was like 7 point something. So it was kind of close to 8. So as you can see now, we're down to 6.4. So Biden still has a spread of 6.4. The Economist and YouGov came out with a poll that showed Biden up 9. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, but there's been a lot of polls recently, and we have seen this tighten. And if it gets down to Biden up 2 or 3 in the national, that's where Hillary was. Okay, that's where Hillary was the day of the election. So we'll see what happens. But if he keeps anywhere from a 5 to 6 point lead going into election day, who knows? But I still think it's Biden's ball game if that happens. Now, if it gets down to 2 or 3, I might say that Trump wins, because honestly, I do believe that there are secret Trump voters. I've said that in my other videos, and it's Donald Trump. Anything is possible. Anything is possible with this man. Every time you think he's going down, he doesn't. So it is very, very possible that he overcomes all this and is reelected. So who knows? Who knows? It might happen. There was another poll on Monday that had, you can see Biden up 39 in California, Biden up 27 in Hawaii. But there was another poll that had Biden up by 4 in Ohio. So here's the average. In Ohio right now, Biden's up. Biden is up in Ohio. That's the spread right now. It's 2.3. So the polls recently, Biden's led in most of them. Okay. But if we get back to 2016, Trump led in a lot of them. Trump led in, God bless, as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There was ties. But on the average, he was up 3.5, and he ended up winning by 8 points. So the fact that Biden is up is pretty crazy. Okay, that's pretty nuts that he's up in the average right now. So we'll see what happens in Ohio. Texas, let's go. There was another Texas poll that came out the other day. There was Georgia. I don't know. We might have went over the Texas poll, but I want to go to the average again right now in Texas just to see where it's at. Pennsylvania has went down. Now let's take a look at these. Pennsylvania has went down to, I think he's up 4.7, so 5 points. Now that's went down. The averages went down. So you can see that these averages are going down. If you go back to 2016, Clinton was only up 1.9. That was on election day. Now Biden has a 4.75 point lead on election day. I still think Biden wins, but like I said, it's anybody's ball game. It just depends on a lot of things, and people need to get out and vote for their candidate. If you want the person, if you want Trump gone, if you spent 4 years, going after Trump, saying all these things, let's say, and I hate that, when people, vote for whoever you want to. It's a free country. But when you vote third party and this person has no chance whatsoever to win, no chance at all, but you're voting, I understand you're voting for, your dignity and whatever, but I would always want to vote for the person that's going to win, that has a chance to win. That's what I should say. Even though if I'm not a big Biden fan, but I hate Trump, or if I'm not a big Trump fan or I hate Biden, I'm going to vote for the person I hate the less. That's just how it is. In my opinion. Now that might be, different for a lot of other people, but Virginia, I think, is safe for Biden as of right now. Florida, the average has went down. Obviously, he's only up 4 now. The other day, he was up like 6. So that has drastically changed. We go back to 2016, though. I think Trump was up a little bit. Trump was up by 0.2, and he ended up winning by just a point, basically. Florida's going to be close regardless. It doesn't matter. Biden could be up by 4 or 5. It's going to be close regardless, and Trump could still could win. Michigan, on the other hand, look at this. Biden was up 8 points the other day. He's only up 6.3 now. So this is what I'm saying. It is tightening. The polls are tightening. 6.3 in Michigan. In Arizona, Biden is up 3.7. So that has went down a little bit from the other day. So it is anybody's ball game. Wisconsin, I think, is still the same. Yeah, Biden's up 5. But Wisconsin in 2016, if we remember, was way off. I don't know what they did. Their polls were absolutely way off. But most of the polls in 2016, if you go back and look at them, look at the average, they were not that off. They were either almost dead on or within the margin of error. Pennsylvania, within the margin of error. Michigan, within the margin of error. Florida, within the margin of error. All these states were within the margin of error, excluding Wisconsin here. This was drastically wrong. If we get to the 538 average, though, so it just depends on where you're looking. Biden has 50% here, which is, huge. Biden's been 50%, and a lot of the polls, he's been able to crack 50%. I think Clinton was only able to crack 50% like once or twice. And on the average, she was never up 50% on the average. So that is huge. Biden is outperforming Clinton in the poll numbers. That is a given. So they've got Biden up by 8 basically here. So as you can see here, there was the Harris poll we were looking at. It's a C-rated poll, so you have to be careful. A B-rated poll had Biden up 12, up 9 in this one, up 9 in that one. And then obviously the C plus, the right-leaning poll had Biden up 3. Morning Consulate had Biden up 9. Biden 7, Biden 7, Biden 7, Biden 7, Biden 9, Biden 9. So you just got to be careful. And these morning Consulate polls are definitely, using a lot more people in their polls, and questioning a lot more people. 12,000 people. So anyway, guys, that's kind of an update of the polls. The averages have went down. And like I said, it's anybody's ball game still. But I still think as of right now, Biden still has the edge when it comes to the vote, in my opinion. What I still think is going to happen, I think Trump wins Florida. I'm going to leave Arizona blank. I don't know. And Carolina, I don't know. So I really don't. So as of right now, that's what I think is going to happen. Trump could win both those states and still lose, but I think Ohio and Florida go to the president. And if that happens and he still loses, that'll be the first time a Republican has been able to get Ohio and lose the election. But if Trump gets Ohio and Florida, whoo, we're in for a barn burner. It's going to be a crazy November 3rd, no matter what. So get out and vote for whoever you are supporting. Make this election interesting. I can't wait for it. It's going to be great. I love this time of year. Love it, love it, love it. And that's about it, guys. We will do another video in the next couple days. Check the updated polls, and we'll talk to you then. All right, guys. You guys have a good one, and we'll talk soon. See you guys.